Okay, I guess I'll start.
Sure.
I'm Katie Deese. I am the para-union president. I've been in with the district for 5 years as a sped para at Lake McKinley.
I'm Timothy Schwarzkopf. I am the vice president of the para union. I have been with the school for almost 5 years, and I am a sped para at the school.
Perfect.
Jen Solomon, secretary treasurer of the union, and I have been with the school district for 12 years at Lincoln.
I'm Christine Summer. I'm the field consultant for MFPE. I'm on Great Falls. I've been doing this job for about 4.5 years. It'll be 5 in July. Prior to that, I was a science teacher at CMR for 24 years.
I'm Kelly Compton. I am a school board member. I've only been on the board for a year, so I'm lots of learning, but I love it. I graduated 3 kids through that.
I'm Kevin Johnson. Been on the board for, this May will be 2 years, so retired. Was at the college for 37 years. So I enjoy this.
Perfect. Frank Young, superintendent.
Holly Bitts, assistant superintendent.
And Moses Deannan. So it's my first year being district clerk. So nice to meet everyone.
Yes, nice to meet you too.
And I've been with the district 13 years. Sorry.
Lucky 13.
That's it. That's it. So Kate, whenever you're ready.
Okay, well, to,
Yes.
proposals and everything. All
Sure.
right.
Sure.
Okay, we have, 3 proposals.
Okay.
I'll let everyone look through them before I, there's some.
About this first one based on, the conversation we had with
Yes, yeah.
the nonstop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I hear you.
When you guys are ready, I can kind of go into a little more depth about stuff.
With the 906, where the number 906 come from on the insurance premium?
That is, oh goodness, I can remember the deductible. Is that the $2,000 deductible?
Yep, it's revised major medical, $2,000 deductible, 80%.
Because did we have, was that 734, was that for the single?
Yes, yeah, single for the highest deductible.
Oh, the highest
6,000.
6,000. Okay. Yeah, no, if you want
Okay, all right.
to. Okay.
So for the first one, we kind of came up with that new language and everything for it. Due to kind of a precedent being set in years past, me just being 5 years, I talked to other paras that were there longer, that if there were delays for anything, I know that there's delays for bomb threats, shootings, any kind of weather or anything. Just from a precedent being set beforehand, that paras didn't have to make up those hours, they could just be paid for those. Is kind of the reason why we wanted to put that language in there. And also because it is very difficult for a lot of paras to make up hours as well. A lot of them I know have kids, so in the morning time, they got to get the kids ready. after school, gotta pick up kids from daycare and stuff, or get them from school. And a lot of them also work, second jobs as well, so it's really hard to, make up hours for them. With proposal two, with the salary and increase, we kind of chose that number and everything, to attract and retain paras. Because I know it's been kind of a problem this year. I know we had great influx this year, but then a lot of them kind of dropped off, I believe, and stuff. And I know one of the major issues is kind of the way the economy is going and with grocery prices increasing, housing and rent. Paras are kind of looking for higher paying jobs. So we kind of think with this increase, it will get them to stay. And well, and also kind of another reason is that, you know, there's a lot of paras missing, right? So a lot of them have to take on the jobs of their other paras, which causes a lot of high stress for them and everything. And so I think it could kind of go both ways, you know, keep paras and then also maybe help alleviate to gain more paras and everything. And then with proposal three, with the insurance, again, it's also to help paras and also attract them. I know with some of them, if they do put a child on there, with our current plan, they are just paying for insurance, pretty much. I know of one para that was pretty much, they're completely sick because they didn't want to, run out of money from their paycheck because they just could not pay and everything. So I believe this will attract, people with children, maybe help them towards the district, kind of go to school, have their children in school and everything as well, and also not be afraid to have them on the insurance as well. And yeah, that's, our reasoning for those.
The increase in the prorated or the part-time less than full-time, I just divided, it was like 72 point some percent. Where it says the old $734 and the old $536. That's how I got to 661, just kind of the same multiplier.
Can you say that again?
Yeah, so what I did is I think I took I never can remember until I put it in a calculator. If I put 536 divided by 734 and got a percentage.
Oh, okay.
Around, and then I just.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Just to figure out the difference.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the only other one thing on number one, second line where it says weeks. That's in it, and I do have a proposal that I'd like to bring next time. If we can, I've got one for grammatic errors and things like I did yesterday. It should be weeks with an S apostrophe. That would be a change that we would probably implement. Just to, yeah. Think so.
No, I think these are all good times, as you know, to clean stuff up.
Absolutely. Okay.
All right. Well, and just so you're aware too, as you can see, you know, I don't know how familiar everybody is with how everything's been adjusted over, like with policies and stuff from the state, but we're a class 1 school district. So when you have over 1,000 students in your class 1 school district, that means that then board meetings or committee meetings, negotiations, Christine, as you know, then all have to be recorded. They're a public document for transparency purposes. So if you're wondering why this is on and you guys are on TV, it's just part of where we've had to go now, right? Just being decided to have a public school. And so then those are posted on our website following all of our committee meetings. So you can access and see them. So that is now, when it comes to the actual negotiations platform, you all can talk to separately. Our meetings have to stay in here. Because we have board members on our team. So that's how that process goes. So if you'd like, if you guys want to head then back to where you were previously, allow us a chance to talk. Great. And then you want us to come get you.
Oh, thanks. I'm good.
And that law is regardless of a quorum, is that correct? Or, yep.
Yeah, no, because I tried to, you know, find out, right, how long we had to pick it apart, because both of them was like, I think it's a quorum, Brian, and I was like, let's see, and the intro's no.
Yep, that's my thought as well.
You are correct. Yep. Yeah.
See?
Road snap.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
All right, so thoughts?
Like, wow. I don't know about insurance, insurance is a killer, I don't.
Insurance is, and you know, right now where we're at, the hard part is we still don't have
The
it.
rates will be, till the end.
Oh,
Yeah,
Last year was a $300,000 increase.
That's the hard part of the
holy
and
cow.
the financial grab is if,
Because we went up like 16% last year, about 16.6 like average across our premiums.
No,
That's what we went up. It's huge. Yeah.
that is huge.
Yep. And then so just kind of just throwing out some numbers here, just I did a quick calculations. So with the increase in that insurance from going from 906 is from 703 or 734, sorry, 906 to 734, there's about a 23% increase.
to go from 734 to 906.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And that just makes like with everything, and I'll give it to you guys. I try to predict it or estimate it high. And I like it higher than, being low. So right now, if we give them that 7% increase with that 23% or 23% increase in insurance and 7% increase in their salaries. This is just solely our general fund. And just want to give you guys background, our general fund is pretty tight. So it's an $82,000 increase if we give that to them. So
So
just giving you guys quick numbers.
in class A, what is the base rate for other paras? Like, are we at the bottom? Are we in the middle? That's a good question.
I haven't
We
looked
can
at it yet.
ask
We can ask
Chris.
around, yeah.
Too.
Okay,
Yeah.
The total between insurance and
And
salary
that's,
would be
that's
$82,000.
each.
And Moses, with the other, like where we kind of factored, what kind of increase would that be if because we were kind of weighing into this with the thought, initially trying to follow like STARS Act would be a 2% the first year and a 2% the second year, kind of gets into that line. Do you have?
So the 2% would be, and these are putting in, if they take one step, like if they take a step down, to their salary increase plus the increase in their, the base. So 2% would be 35,417, and that's not including, the insurance. The insurance part. You can add about $2,000 to $3,000 extra on that one, so it'd be about 38,000. Increase on our general fund.
there's nothing unreasonable there, but the bottom line is has to be paid for.
Right,
We
that's-
don't know what the legislature's doing yet. We don't know what the cost of insurance is yet. Yeah, money wasn't an object, it'd be.
100%
Yeah,
lined up.
no problem.
Absolutely.
100%, 100% is our
Inflation.
Yep.
If you do 7% here, you do 7%.
Yeah.
So you guys-
And it's a 1 year, I mean, are they interested in a 2-year deal? You did 3 and 3, get it close.
What would the 3, just factoring Moses?
Do a 1 year and a 2 year.
Because, I kind of get where you're going to, Holly. If you went with, kind of like we were looking with the teachers, if you did a 2-year situation or you did 3 the first year, 3 the second, you're probably going to get, you're closer to that 7% mark. It might take a couple years, but
Yeah,
we're working towards that to get there because we understand the cost of living. That is that is why, as you know, we went through the school board to approve that general fund mill levy, but at the same time say the STARS Act, that inflation gap, if that all comes through, don't understand everybody else.
yeah, we know what happened last time.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I
time
don't
to,
think that was all bad because it makes people aware of how right money is, what it's like. people as unions. We tried, but it didn't work out.
Yeah,
No, it wasn't because we didn't want to.
No.
Oh, yeah. That's one.
and it was like,
Worked out.
because Kevin, Kristen and I were part of the troops that went out and hit the groups and tried to market this.
Yeah. Yeah, so it wasn't for lack of effort, but
Yeah,
personally, I think times are worse now than they were
I
back then.
agree, Kevin,
So
I agree.
it's gonna be, I think that's
Tough
one
ones
thing
out.
to bring up, we tried in the past and in order to get all this, there's so much unknown. Sure, with the legislature and
No, that's our part without the insurance and knowing if the start of that.
This is gonna even go through, yeah.
I know, so you're kind of like,
And today during the legislative update, they said they're not sure 100% whether or not the stars actual pass. And that's the first time they've ever mentioned that.
Oh, gosh.
Because they had some people chatting, testifying that wasn't the best.
and I mean, I'd like to think, a couple people probably sway the whole group, but so you like that they did probably still pass, because I watched, when Tim and I were down, watching those things pass. I mean, some pass closer than others, but they pass. I feel like it'll still pass, but I'm with you, I'm like, boy, it only takes, you just never know, right? You never know.
you're dealing with politics.
One never knows.
The only way you know is when it's all done.
That's darn right. Now, what do you all think about the language change, number one they had, or is that something you're?
I think that's, it's so minimal, I think it's that.
I would totally agree with that.
Totally good with
Things are tightened up with it.
Right, like,
Yeah.
if, and they have a good point too, like if they've got to get to another job. And the difference sometimes too in employees that you could load different hours, right? If you're working outside or maintenance or, but if you're with more hands on with kids, that may be more difficult to make up the hours. So I feel good about that.
So I had a question though, these late starts, we're still releasing at the same time, so it truly is makeup hours, right?
Correct.
It truly is.
Correct. And the language Holly and I found in both Teamsters and paras supported that, you have that ability to either, kind of like this reads, either say, nope, sorry, you lose time that week, or you're gonna have to make it up. And so our give was that, because it's based on an act of God, was to say, so I went through then and talked with secretaries, so Holly and I tried to kind of feel that situation as it happened, to go back and say, hey, we don't need to knock that yours, just work with your building principal on how you can make that up, like we're
Try to
okay
get
with
it
it.
up in the next 2 weeks.
Yep, like, so we went and just talked to them individually on some upset people and, then they felt better with it, but I'm not against that either, so
Me either.
when those situations happen,
Yeah,
Much rather hear them.
not like they're like every month type of thing.
no. And that was, we had that month February, it's bad,
Yeah.
bad stretches.
Right, they put people in danger, like
It
don't
does.
travel.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Number 2 and 3, all depends on finances.
Well, and
I think we all feel the same, we'd like to give away more, but
It would, 100%.
our budget that has to stay. Be
I mean,
balanced.
Because at the end of the day, Holly and Moses and I have been working with principals, food service, with Scott, to look at when somebody leaves, because what we have not tried, our model has been not to create a risk situation where we're laying people off. But if we have employees that leave, to evaluate every position and say, if we can go without that position.
Yes.
We're shoring up our budget, we're getting closer to having that balanced budget, which we haven't had in so many years.
Yeah.
It's been so long, so that's been our push, is to try and get us to that balanced equation, which is not an easy task in today's world. This.
I just look at the bus driving and that stuff and the changes they made this year where you go down and come back, because it cost a lot of money, especially after COVID and all that.
Yes.
For hotels and food, it's just outrageous.
It used to be $100 for shade rates, now it's 300.
Yeah, exactly. So see the changes taking place and you can understand why, or at least I can, just the cost of things.
Yeah,
I think with 3, you just say, This is about a 23% increase. We understand exactly where it's coming from, but until we get our insurance quote on the 27th, 28th of this month, we won't be able to determine what the other increase will be.
Did your teachers accept 3 and 3?
Next was April 7th.
It does sound good when you said, I was like, it does if you did it.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah. I got some numbers for you.
Okay, what do you got?
Okay, so for 3%, just on the first year, including the big jump in the insurance that they're wanting, it's $46,880.
And that includes the insurance.
It includes the insurance, and then
what?
$46,880.
Okay,
And then, going into the next year, if we give them a 3% again on that, that fiscal school year. And then this one is just keeping insurance the same.
the same,
Yeah,
Okay.
keeping insurance at 906 the same for the second year.
which would be tied, right? to the
Yep.
2 year, yeah.
Yeah, and that is, 38,136.
That's the second
The
year.
second year, yeah. And so
38,000 what?
$38,136.
Okay.
Yep, and so for your grand total between those 2 years, if we gave them, and this is what the steps included, or like a step down, each year, it's $85,016.
So,
For the 2 years.
right. Because even if we did Moses, like we said over here, okay, so if we had factored down the 1 year, it's gonna be 35,417, right? So if we did a 2 year on that, and that's keeping in mind the current insurance, right? We're looking at 70,000 on the 2 and 2. Little over 70,000, right?
Yes, yep, initially, yep. So if we went 2 on 2,
Yeah, we'd be
Right,
looking
for
at
the
70,000, so this
Yeah.
would be a difference of about 15,000, right?
Yep.
And the part that honestly, guys, that I almost kind of like is we have a set number in the insurance, because that variable of what we don't know could be more. So that keeps that actually locked versus a potential higher spike in insurance. Which is a big consideration, because odds are that could go a lot
Where you're
higher.
coming from,
You know what I mean?
yes, for sure.
So that could go a lot higher than that if we hold till we get the insurance.
And if you're making $16 an hour to have, isn't high deductible, is it 4 or 5,000?
the high deductible is 680. The one that's 734 that they want, like they don't pay.
$6,000 on the pocket and
That's hard.
I don't know how you would do it.
I totally agree with you.
Does that include what it makes our overall budget for salary for affairs?
Like it changes everything.
So you'd have that 85,000 on top of what we currently pay
Difference in
already.
2 years,
What that
really
big number is.
50,000.
This is what you see here. This is my grand total right here.
Is what-
Affairs.
For theirs, for the high
It's
school.
just a big picture, you know what I mean, 15,000,
Yeah.
because that insurance alone.
And then so what I'm doing is
Another 60%, and you know, we're waiting on 1 more year before that trust kicks in. That trust goes in, from seeing the basis of, and 16% and 2%. Well, that's a lot more manageable.
Yeah.
Because then we kind of know we got a factor to go,
Yes.
okay, you can see this, but 16% jump. Moses, like, for instance, if we were hit with another 16% this year, that rate of what they're asking is of 906 could be higher than that, could it?
You have a better feel for that, it sure makes sense to me.
We'll tell you hopefully an insurance trust next year that would take place in the 27.
And they're hoping that one comes into play, because what they're doing is they're just gonna put everybody in a big pot,
Yeah,
try to lower that.
Spread the wealth, so to speak.
Yeah,
As long as it doesn't pay for it.
yeah.
yeah, and then just so you guys know, this is what we're kind of paying this is what we're paying out of the general fund expenditures. This includes payroll, insurance, and then workers' comp. So for high school, we're paying 149,000. That's with everything. And then elementary, it's 789,000.
So a couple of questions, I guess. Do the paras get, are they, we have enough paras at all the schools, or is there more that need to be hired that would go?
We need more in high school and the middle school. I
Okay,
think our elementary's pretty good right now.
so
We've had
that,
an influx of.
this would go up a little more with the new hire or whatever, but I think they're super important. But that would be budgeted for.
Moses has that factored in for like,
Okay.
so on the,
Okay.
on that matrix, like what he's looking at, those
Yes.
positions, I see what you're saying, Kevin. Those positions are already there as if they were.
Oh, okay, even though they're not being paid.
That's it.
Okay,
Yep, so
good.
they're already.
Yeah, so Kevin, on my spreadsheet, I just had, so like on the red, are those like to be hired, like if we were to hire like more paras? So they're in there, they're accounted for, so.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's what Brian was just saying.
yeah,
Yep,
and, now with the raise, I've heard both 2% and 3%. Is it 3% or?
I think that was on the 3 and 3, which might be away.
Well, that's what I
I mean, Ollie, I like the idea. I think the idea is great because it spreads that out, and really that difference, Moses, of 15,000 versus 2 years at the one we had for 15,000 more over 2 years. I don't think that's astronomically different. What do you think?
And then I can tell you guys this too, like not a lot of paras take our insurance.
Yeah,
So right now, if my spreadsheet is correct, which I had Miss Kathy look at it, we went through it, spent a few hours on it. Right now, we have about 6 paras that are taking our insurance.
So then this hit isn't so,
See, that's the thing though, this guy, like, so if we put it on this, it's a lower deductible. Now they're incentivized to, hey, let's go take it on, so that's gonna be,
oh,
It
that's.
could be.
it could hit us a little bit harder than what it is right now, so.
yeah,
That's
there's,
just my concern. I mean,
Yeah.
Just. Giving you guys all the scenarios. So instead of 6, we might have 16.
Right.
Starts adding, so.
but it's not like every one of them's taking it.
No.
Which is what this number is figured on, every
Right.
one of them taking it.
And so like with what Brian said,
Yeah,
we don't know what our insurance is gonna be next year.
yep,
If we give them that rate at 906,
It's a set rate,
it's a set rate, and I don't know, but it might.
which is what we kind of been, you know, because I'm telling you, like, the indicators Moses has gotten though.
Is gonna be another 16%, is
Yeah.
what the insurance company told me.
yeah,
they-
so I
they just
totally
expect
agree
it.
with that for us to agree rather than wait, right, because
You don't know.
with another 10%.
It might be way more than that.
Yeah, exactly, okay,
Were there, the set number, and that's what I tried to advise the teachers last night too, is to say, guys, you have to know, like, in the insurance and salary package, a lot of districts on the west side have went to just a set amount that they'll give towards insurance, so that that's the standard. Okay, if you want a little more in salary, here's what we give for insurance. We pay, $600 per month for insurance. You choose your own thing. The rest is gonna come out of your paycheck to cover said
And I think
package.
Rocky Boys has been that way. The last 20 years, they've said, we'll give you 10,000 towards your insurance, you can use it for insurance, or you can not have insurance and pocket the money, up to you.
yeah.
And it's just easier, I mean.
Yeah.
Consistent,
You just know.
You know.
Yeah, really easily.
This is where we're at.
It's gonna be easier for the payroll clerk, so I'm just,
Yeah.
there's advantages definitely, just keep it.
Sounds to me like no one's hung up on anything. I like what you're presenting and explaining it, so it really makes a lot more sense.
I mean, it might be, I feel like you have the, on that first one, we're in agreement. If we're all on the same page with this, I guess we'll just get it done. So,
Yeah.
I think 3 and 3 sounds like we're almost meeting your goal 2 versus full out for 2. It sounds like we're so far.
So far now. Sarah.
So.
Yeah, it seems like a big bridge.
Seems like a big bridge, but they have, plans. So that we're navigating a lot.
Sure.
So we're trying to yield and facilitate.
Oh, yes.
So a little different.
The only weird thing about this is, like, if we were to have to, as a whole district, make up that day. Then
Well,
they
it's
try.
to it.
It says,
But it was just the,
maybe we could change it, Holly, like you said, in the event the school day is delayed or closed and we don't have to make it up, something like, you know,
Something.
maybe add in an adjustment to the language of not making it up. I like that.
And doesn't need to be made up to meet accreditation.
There we go.
Right,
Okay.
yeah, the state law requires certain number of hours.
Okay, by state law. Yeah, I'll just put in that caveat. I think they'll be okay with that. So Moses, the difference in 15,000 over 2 years, 70 to 85, do you feel?
I'm always gonna play the,
I know.
get the numbers, but
and it probably.
I'm
was
okay
in
with that. I mean, with-
15, right? Because didn't you say 38,417?
somewhere around there, yeah.
You needed only
And
that.
and in the grand scheme of things, if they do agree to a 2-year, like
Yes.
we can do that. Like,
And that was my thought, is
40.
we, with the 2 year, we have a
Yeah.
little more flexibility.
And it's not just that one time.
That's it.
Yes.
And we're locking the insurance versus the gamble of who knows?
Because currently, we're paying 938,000 for Paris
For players, yeah.
right now with pay insurance and workers' comp, like you said.
So are all
You'll be at
contracts
that,
yearly?
Well, you have like, I mean, all of the, like when we roll in front of you, the contracts are yearly, yes. Like you like the individual ones they sign, Kevin? Or you talk.
No, I mean the union
Oh, yeah.
contract.
Well, like the last one was 2 years. 2 years. They're 2 year.
And we shall start at 3.
And then,
There's too much.
yeah.
And the raises that.
Three of us.
Yes.
Yeah, 'cause
Now, our road a little unbalanced.
ours were every 2 years or something, call them.
And then the raises that they had last year, when I went through their plan, was a 2.2%.
And was it 6 the year before that? I think the year before that I wanted it was a 6 because
Okay.
they.
I don't went by,
Like 2.2 versus 3, make it sound like you're giving them a good deal. I mean,
so like the year before this year, because I kind of just compared just these 2 years. Because I was told that they separated these two. Right?
Mhm.
Is that kind of how?
Yeah, it was
Oh,
before they went to them.
It's our negotiation. Yeah. So, like
It
in
was
here.
2 or 3.
Yeah, they said they separated, like, the general para gets this rate and then a special ed para gets this rate. So they separated the two salaries, salary statements.
I also think it's fair because.
Yeah.
right.
But yeah, but just from between like these 2 years. I don't know. From like. Oh,
I remember it right there. For me. They proposed 3. Because it was so, I mean, it was super, it was under 1 million.
And the flip side with this is too, the difference is like where they're making, and this is an issue all they run into all the time, has been Paris and lack of service. So that's a hard thing, and you understand what they're saying when they're like, we need to be able to have this attractive enough that some of you will think this about, because if we don't, we're then futures, the entire system starts to get overloaded and burnt down. And then that's not productive either in terms of going forward for our kids.
Right.
So, you know, that's a definite factor. Like we're going to talk next week in the financial committee. Like Moses and I have tried to kind of put together a plan for sub wages for next year. element that plan to kind of really work with that and get that out and media, to really try to incentivize bringing people back into some of the new game, because, I mean, we've got principals that are subbing, which become.
Non-productive, though. They
Super
have a whole
non-productive.
job that they.
Like, that's a whole other job that then. So that's not good either, so we kind of have to balance out the, maybe extra 1% per year with the fact of we're actually staff to go through.
Right.
And the whole system is more should versus saying, well, we're gonna hold that back and then keep losing people and then that's not good for everyone either.
And unfortunately, you don't lose bad employees, you lose the good. I mean, that's just the nature of things. That's when there's anything in there.
Although you think, you okay,
Yeah, we'll just say, and will not, like,
make that up.
and not need to be made up to be every good hours. And then bring. And I think, you know, you can say, with this, we can, we think it's important to say this is a 23% increase. But if we can agree with, we already put a lot in. Do
We'll
we
do,
want to ask them if they would like evaluations to, if they've already, if they're a veteran, they're in the district for more than 5 years, we go to every other.
we can throw that out, you want to throw that out when they talk to the other? Okay,
Yeah, me too.
okay, I mean, I don't think that's necessarily a bad idea.
They could do teachers every 3 years. Yeah. Very active in 9 months or 1 year.
9 months, really?
Yeah.
It was 90 days before, but the probationary period is 9 months and then everybody.
Wow. And so, the school house.
Embarrassed we have,
There is, I mean.
subs we have about 10 consistent. We have about 10.
Oh, wow.
We have about 40. We figured that there are about probably 90 before, and I would say 50 of those have not subbed in 3 to 5 years. So that's why kind of what that was this year, and just sent out a letter that if you would like to sub,
Yeah.
because a lot of people are like, well, I just want to be on the list in case, but they haven't. And it's hard because then you're calling them constantly. I mean, you go at 5:30 in the morning and you would tell clock at 6 and you start dialing. Right, trying to get people to fill.
What did the subs make?
Currently, it's based on, like your carousel comes in at $12 an hour. And then once they've sat for 30 days and completed this up training from OPI, then it bumps up a little bit. It goes up, and then there's another tier for if you're something for a teacher, and there's like if you are already a certified teacher yourself, it goes up to like 19. There's 6 tiers. Yeah, upstairs.
You know,
Hey, bud. Oh, okay, are you out front right now?
I'll go on.
Oh, no, we are there, Jake's already left, I think we're okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we're okay. No, we're okay. All right, thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay, sorry about that. Anyway, okay, so to kind of then we'll just kind of start and go through your proposal. So number one, we agree that, that seems very logical and, kind of the events you listed to Caden in terms of just time frame or we're having other employment, that all makes sense. The caveat we wanted to add with that in was something like, in the event the school is delayed or closed and does not have to be made up like for aggregate hours, right? Like, so if we were we're in such a situation where we're having to make up school days, then certainly as everyone then would go in to make up the school day, we would all be with making that up. But if it was just, we have X amount of delays for the year with late starts and we're not looking to make them up, totally makes sense. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then in proposal number 2 on the salary schedule, so we were kind of thinking as we looked at this, right, and we tried to break all these figures down. In looking at one, for us, we would like to see 2-year contract versus a 1.
Yes, I apologize, I did not mention that before.
Okay.
25, 27 is what.
Okay, yeah. So for that, were you thinking then a 7% just for 1 year or split out over 2?
We were thinking, for this year or for the next year, and then we did have another proposal, depending on the increase, for the next year, the 26, 27 year as well.
Okay. So when we kind of were doing some math and stuff and looking from our numbers, so that increase on a 7% of 82,000, kind of our proposal back would be doing a 3% for the first year, right, for 25, 26, and then another 3% for 26, 27. So then that allows us then to kind of spread that financial piece out over 2 years, which certainly creates a better balance, as you know, because then as it rotates into number 3, with your insurance premium going up, then, which is a 23% jump, that would allow us to go ahead and approve where you want it to be for insurance.
Oh, okay.
In a sense, your counter is bundling the two together, 3 and 3 on insurance.
Keeping with, what was requested for the insurance. Yep.
Okay.
We'll talk.
Okay.
Can I bring up one other
Oh, yeah.
thing? And this is, I didn't even formally write it up. Somebody had brought it up to us a little while ago. It's on my sticky note. It was just an idea that potentially if you are a veteran para and you've been in our district for maybe 5 years, then if you wanted to move to evaluations maybe every other year or, go on a cycle of every 3 years to match what the teachers do, that could also be an option. But
Versus every year.
And then, versus a bear, and then, to what? Were you,
probably every other year
every other
instead of yearly,
year? Okay.
but just food for thought.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll look back at that.
Oh, yeah. They're due February 1st every year.
What, do you know what's the religion?
Sure.
And that's okay, I can scoot over and. I'll scoot through and I'll do a search on my computer. That'd be easier probably for me.
So you can get those.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
You can, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Well, this would be everyone. That's- We have that left, or we have the website that we had to do first.
I don't see that there at all.
For the teachers now this. And then as you saw too, we have the, I don't know if any of you were on the invite, this is on this calendar. No, you don't have to, I don't remember, but we have to reconvene that because we have a couple of, one, we've gone through the process that when we started recording sports, extra, the kind of, yeah, we have to reduce for next year, we thought we moved the contact codes, so I have to take those PRDs out. And then Irvin calls me today, and the schedules came out, for HPEA, like start dates for the different seasons. Well, spring sports next year, state track, tennis and softball all wind up their last day is on.
It's not
Oh, so we're gonna have to push graduation from Saturday to Sunday
this year.
next year.
Oh,
So,
but
no, because, no, not this year, not this year. So, but,
Holly's like, rethink that right now.
but we'll look back Roma.
is it Memorial Day weekend then you was off to?
No, so it's how it went to the very end of May,
Mhm.
the 30th. Graduation we had on the 30th, so now we're gonna have to bump it to Sunday, the 1st of June. In the calendar committee, so I have to invite everyone. To read, so that we can cover the PIR, I figured, and then the graduation, get that read.
Where does Northern, it's at the beginning of May, right?
Yes.
I was
Usually
supposed
it's first.
couldn't plan
First weekend, full weekend?
Yeah, I think it's the first weekend.
I might have thought of that in there. Talk about this. Ignore what I said.
Ignore what, how's that?
Because you only need to provide.
Hold on, when I come back.
They're not in there, you said?
Oh, I think they are.
They're in the very far back, well, we can tell when they come in to say. But yeah, so we gotta pull that together, knowing those little tidbits of knowledge. But that'll be one meeting thing.
So, one of the board meetings, I know there was 3 people, so the band teacher, science teacher, who's the third one?
English,
Pardon?
English.
English, okay.
Yep.
And are we losing anyone else anymore at this time, retirement, that kind of stuff?
No, right now, I know we have the posting for the colony teachers,
Right, yep,
that's up now. So,
that's amazing. One teacher's the first year coming in and, free for the whole repo employees. And obviously bus drivers are up and down that stuff, too.
you know, and we've been able to find some bus drivers.
Yeah.
You know, so that's been good. But the employee game and stuff, you know,
It's hard.
it's hard.
Yeah, it's hard to find out if you're in,
Yeah, everyone's feeling it.
extremely hard.
Can you find people that are committed and want to play?
Yep.
Good stuff.
Well, I don't know if you know, but Soper got let go from CHS.
Really?
And then, right, he's looking for parts of the six and I'm like, oh, it's scary.
With the parts.
So Nick, it's gonna farm. And Scott Darlington is gonna go to sales, but Ed's like, I'm down 2 people. Jamie Lincoln's going out on his own. So. Finding people that wanna work, they all wanna work full time, 10 to 2.
Yes.
So we can, she's good. He's like,
A
yeah,
work
just,
job.
doesn't
Which
work.
I'm not so
No. I
Because then you-
remember back. Oh, my God, it's called another 10 years.
But if it's not, I didn't see anything on there either.
Yeah, she said there's going to evaluation once.
For a lot of people already.
Possibly, it is policy or, yeah.
That was quite a bit younger at that time when I went there, we had college, no one visited. No, kill them. Over there. Yeah. Yeah.
And then she's going to vacation for a week. There's my world.
Can't say, none of them have work, can't say, but there's no bottom. I'm worried that everybody can call us. Yeah. College and, you know, I thought if there's, after COVID, they opened touch up on some stuff. There's one kid in there.
And if we miss a day, so it's over.
Yeah, I do actually. Absolutely.
And then
You could tell.
until 30,
We have.
start receiving it at 35 get out.
We have employees come in, if you want to interview, a lot more interested. Sure interested in spring break.
Yes. No one knows who dates are.
So I just fall under further out that they have quite a line with free ice cream cone.
Oh.
After that, they've got a line of kids going out to work. Yeah, it's like free ice cream.
Did you yell out there, bring me a cone?
Bring me a cone.
Big that. We need 6 cones.
That's awesome. I love it.
Right around.
I know it is.
What's the average, number of years that the teachers have taught, like?
Like coming in, would you say, with some
No,
experience?
that
or
we
like-
have in our
Oh,
school right now.
Like kind of an average? Well, we have a pretty mixed bag. I mean, we've got some veteran, 25
Yeah,
plus teachers as well
I
as.
know there's what, 2 or 3 years where they hired,
We probably have the least amount, Kevin, in probably middle of the road versus newbies. Most in the new or the high end,
yeah.
and probably the least in the middle.
How many that come in are straight out of college and start teaching?
This last year, yeah, I'd say about a third.
A third of the hires,
Mhm.
yeah, not a third of the
Right.
teachers.
Yeah.
And then we grant up to 10 years of experience.
Yeah. Yeah, and I wouldn't count them as new teachers or just changing position.
Right. Yeah.
So I had a guy that I know in the farming side of things, his wife was looking at coming here. And, I think she teaches elementary up the High Line. Whatever it's like, I don't know, you know, why. No.
That's great.
I'm the HR
Yeah.
person.
Wherever you find them, Kevin,
Yeah.
send them our way, Kelly.
I'm happy with that.
They're looking for a transition out of fish, wildlife and parks.
There you go. Get it educated.
Not that you would want to listen to. But I know, right? It's tough on every.
FWP has the same cuts as Forest Service?
No, we haven't taken any, and so far legislation has been so good to us. Havre bought a new location for our office, and we've given the go ahead to
Or moving.
R.L. Grant's place on the north side.
Log cabin, wow.
Is that right after the viaduct?
Well,
Well, the bridge just to the left?
you're heading out to the rifle range, you hit the dirt
Right.
road. And, it's on the left side and it's the only log cabin. that
Oh, so it's right on the river.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's on the river, so we'll have a kids pier and.
Oh, that's kind of nice.
yeah.
80 area.
Oh, it's a
walk
nice
through.
place.
He did a beautiful job.
That's
Perfect
great.
spot, you know.
We retired 1 year, so that's on the.
Yeah.
1 year.
Yes.
Why you
Yes, it
apart
is.
out very well.
So did you see the text they sent me?
Dude, and I was driving back in.
You Betsy just threw it out as like a date. She's like, this Friday's wide open. If you guys want Fridays, and we can, certainly we can do a Thursday because of the way people on school. That's available. She just said, hey, I just feel so bad. It's like, she said, don't worry about it. You're in ICU for heaven's sakes. We'll figure it out. Yeah, so we just got back home. Just got back from ICU. So I said, we'll figure out a date. That's it. It's okay. Put her in together.
Yeah.
Like, I know, it's the.
But I said, for me, the second works, but I said, let me shoot it out. Let's see what other thing comes.
And there's some 18-year-olds that they were the circle around people. And you end up go-getters.
They both have their age.
So
Awesome.
you,
Who knows, that doesn't mean we're going to, but I
Right.
feel good.
And seven Bellings, but
They were 18 and boy having.
Area, I looked at those ones that were, yeah, there's a few that are long.
Yeah.
yeah.
it's,
I need to mark that.
it's hard because, you know, that's why we chose the thing so far. Because it was so-
That's exactly.
Yeah. From Saturday, so that's right. Because then it begins like this, woof,
Yeah, that's exactly.
an onslaught every weekend.
Yeah, last weekend was our only weekend that was phone call.
Which is the thrower. Yeah, shot, yes, so, yeah. Yep, so, yeah, and she loves it, so that's kind of her jam, so hopefully.
And then the Havre, so holy
Yeah.
cow, she's a moving girl.
Yep, so she's all over the place with that, so, yeah, but it's fun, yeah, she loves it, so. And it'll be good too, because that next weekend, then she goes, eats fresh down, she'll compete against her old teammates, for track.
Oh.
So she likes this, and a girl that she and maybe Scarlett are the same grade, she's a really good javelin thrower too, so they kind of go back and forth, they're very competitive, so. But you got a shot, you one of the very top in the state this year, for javelin.
Awesome.
And she's
She was a junior, yeah, last year was sophomore, she got second, or sixth. So, but all five of her.
Yeah, it's not just.
Yeah.
Right
So
on.
she
You just had to make
started
yours
where
work.
she let top three right now.
So
So,
who's the throwing coach for that?
so Miles Laird, and then, somebody told me, you probably know Holly, because you know everyone. Mrs. Henry's husband,
Julian Henry's husband?
yeah,
I know what he looks like, I don't know the name.
okay. But he was a thrower in college, and he was, I guess Mark said he was gonna volunteer and help out. with that, so that's good. So then that kind of gives, just more, all the people and help them, the kids.
Yeah,
You just pick up different things from different coaches, like, oh, this would be good, so.
that's exactly.
Yeah.
She's enjoying the high
I'll
school.
take it to
Loves it.
too.
Yeah, it's been fabulous for a long time.
Just have to ask you.
She's got just fantastic.
That's
God
all.
bless you.
Yeah.
Way, home run with fence. That was it, But
Terrifying, do you know where your ball now?
right. And the first time it was, because Jeremiah gave us a walk through Havre High School and Roma's first experience, like after he took the job, we came in March, and looked at her houses and through high school, and she was like, yeah, it's really big, and then now she's like, why was so skinny? But we went out to Parker's, had lunch afterwards, and she was just like this. It's way bigger than-
Put a tracking in my shoes so you can tell where to go.
Oh, I know where to go. You'll figure it out. It's not that bad.
That's good. I remember the black lady that run for school board last night, and she was telling the story, she didn't plan on staying in Havre.
Right, shouldn't eat for a salad.
Yeah,
Yep.
and she didn't plan on staying here, but her kids loved the school so much that they didn't want to move again.
But then there she is, right?
Yeah. One kid graduated last year, I think.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Doesn't she have two other ones?
I know she's got one, right? I think middle schooler. Yeah.
Well, I remember when I was driving the bus and they first moved here.
Mhm.
We're talking a few years back. But he was, they were good kids, they get on the bus and, yeah, super good.
Yeah. Yep.
Good kids. It's good to see them engaged and participating.
Yeah.
And listening the mom talking about.
Right, all those things.
Like,
Yeah.
make a person feel good.
Yeah, for sure.
It's fun to see him back over spring break or. I guess it's-
I know, or Christmas, yeah, I know I started too, that was fun. That's fun, but yeah, no, it's been all right for all. So, which is no perfect, you know,
So
so.
if I leave you, am I gonna leave you in a bind then without JP?
No, I don't think so, because we'll probably, if, let's say if they don't want to move forward with this, you know, then we would probably say, well, we'll schedule another meeting.
Yeah.
So when they come back in, we'll just reconvene as another night, so we'll just wrap it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no,
I don't want to block management meeting tonight for fishing games that I'm signing people into.
I think.
she's a signer.
And then again, do you automatically renew or do you have to?
So
resign?
they do a 1-year contract, a 3-year, or 5-year.
Yeah. Yeah, I know we said, that was it, Tim?
You know, she was.
Yeah, he said, that doesn't mean it's guaranteed for that, but I'm
Right.
sure they looked at the numbers.
Kind of wrangle, they're gonna do it.
Yeah.
So he'll be reaching out to you, May or June.
Yeah.
He is a good guy. He is a good guy.
There were a couple.
Okay, Brian, can I turn my stuff?
Yes,
back?
yeah.
My free one scratch paper. Okay, I'm so sorry. Oh, no, I'm so sorry. Yes, let me know. when I-
They're really okay.
No, I'll just go ahead and just say, hey, you know, we'll get it, and just,
Yeah.
if we need to do another, then we'll just schedule another time.
Is it okay if I go? Right.
Oh, I did, I'm gonna say.
I mean, like to say, there's no.
No.
Negotiate.
No, we'll just reschedule the date, say, hey, we're not quite there.
If you send your text, one way or the other.
100%. You bet,
Yeah.
you bet.
Okay, one hour.
I don't think you too. I feel like
Yeah.
it would be nice.
I've heard a lot of these going to negotiations.
And they just, not, well,
Almost every time.
boy, I know, those days, yeah, really, when you look at it,
Yeah.
you could be a move to tie it up. Anyway, thanks, sir.
Yeah, thanks. Our anniversary, so I think you want to go home. Yeah, that's not right. Oh. All right.
Thank you, Kevin. As a principal, that really, he was like, but. Yeah.
Come on in. Yeah. I was like, yeah, not that believe.
There you go. Just let them know.
I know, well, right?
Our trustees had other engagements, so. Yeah, yep. Okay.
Well, all right, so, I do apologize for not mentioning it earlier, but, for Article, 10.1 for the insurance,
Okay.
we would like to keep, the second sentence that says, if insurance rates were to increase by, 8%, then we would agree to meet and bargain, for the next year. So that would be for, if they were to increase for the 2026, 2027 year, right? And then so we would bargain for the, in the 25, 26 year.
So keeping 906, but look for this next year, but then if it increased the following year is what you're saying?
Yes, yeah.
During that.
Kind of like what happened, I don't know if you.
Yeah, like last year.
Yeah, like last year.
Right, okay. I see what you're saying.
And I do have a copy of those MOUs as well, and it's in there, but the language in the
I was
CBA.
gonna say, I think we need an MOU because it's in there,
Yeah.
right?
It's in there for 24, 25. So
You'd like to add that into.
as of 26,
Yes,
27.
yeah, for that. Apologies for not mentioning.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay,
And then for proposal number 1, we do accept the counter for the additional language in there. And then Christine can write that up for the next time we meet for to be
Okay.
agreed upon.
okay,
And I have on there, in the event school is delayed or closed and does not have to be made up, is that what you were saying? Or the employee is instructed not to report to their or their regularly scheduled shift. That's where I have it in right after the word closed. Is that where you were thinking?
That's what I put.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
And what I'll, and
Yes.
what I'll do is I'll put it red line just like you have it
Yep.
here, and next time if it's,
Yep, I think that's all we got.
whatever, okay, so I'll put that as agreed and get that written up for next time.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, and then for proposal number 2, we will counter for the 25-26 year for a 4% increase. And then for the 26-27 year for another 4% increase. So instead of both for the 3%, 4% instead. And then for proposal number 3, we will counter for full-time employees for $900. And then part-time, 657.
So bringing it down.
Yes, yeah,
With that revision to 10
yes, yeah.
What's that part-time?
Part-time was 657.
And that was 73% of the regular. I figured it out.
Okay.
So,
So, and that would then be if we did like the 2 for 25-20, 25-26 and 26-27, these 2 numbers, barring the fact that during 25-26, we do not give an 8% or above increase. Is that correct?
Yes, yes, so that would be the number, yes, for
For those
the,
2.
yeah.
actually it would be for 26-27, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah, it would be the- yeah,
We would let, we had that in.
yes, yes, yeah.
And hopefully by then the trust will be in place.
Yes.
That's the goal, right? And then no more, then we don't have to worry about that 8%.
Great.
Yeah, that's the biggie. Okay, well, as you can see, thank you for giving us the counter. With our cohorts not here, we'll probably have to set another date, which will give us time to kind of review that anyway. So, is there a time for you all that,